Okay, I think we're recording. Magnus took my spot. Magnus the dog took my spot. It's Laura from the Yarn Closet in Tucson, Arizona. I am Yarn Closet AZ on Instagram and Ravelry. It's Tuesday. I'll be uploading this. I have 75 subscribers. People have not been responding on winning the prizes. So I'm going to give it a couple more weeks, and sadly we'll be in April, so there might be a couple of winners in April. Penny Jane, you have won. You won back in February. I just need an address, so send me an email at TheYarnCloset@yahoo.com and give me an address, and we'll send you out a prize. It is in the vehicle of our shipping sponsor. Forgot to take a picture of it, but hopefully you will love it if you get me your address. And what's the deal? I'm a knitting, crochet, and cranking circular knitting machine cranker. That's what this is. It's a knitting podcast, and the prizes go out monthly. There's one at least every month. There is a Patreon for the Yarn Closet, and the more Patreon support we get, hopefully we can get to every podcast, 3 or 4 prizes a week to go out. Because all the Patreon money goes directly to the cost of yarn, project bags for the prizes. You will get a cranked sock tube or hat tube or both. You'll get a Braille stitch marker, which perhaps you want to see what that is. Okay, so I'm legally blind. This one doesn't work. My mom trained me to keep it open. So, where is the camera in here? So this means light blue. It's hard to actually explain on that one. Let me see if I've got another one. Okay. So Braille is a dying language because of technology. Everybody just wants to hear what's going on. And it takes a lot of space to make a Braille book because Braille is a certain size, and you either have the standard size or you have the large size for people who've got poor feeling in their hands. There is a dot in the upper corner which tells you this is where you start reading, and then there's 2 letters, and it's M and V, and that stands for mauve. So there's a coding to Braille labels. Okay, so if you're reading a toddler Braille book, whoops, a toddler Braille book is going to have, hold on, we're having a little challenge getting set up today. A toddler book in Braille is going to have small words, 4 letters or less. So every letter is going to be written out. To write out a book in, like a grown-up book, if you had to spell out every letter, it would take a lot of space. A Bible takes 9 feet of shelf space, and that is a large 11 by 17 size book. Okay. If you ever go to places like Cracker Barrel, ask for the large print menu, and part of it's in Braille, and just see what that's like. So most people learn enough Braille to do tags, to label in short code, because it's actually called Braille code when you get to an adult book. you have to learn that the word children is not fully spelled out, that there are certain character combinations that mean children, that the word Braille itself would be the letter BRL, that the word you would simply be a Y all by itself. But anyway, so I use these, and I don't even necessarily correspond the color to the thing when I put them inside my kids' jackets for school, because everybody has to wear a certain kind of a jacket at my kids' school. So it's easier to just feel for it in the pile. But I have a bunch of these that I don't necessarily use because I have decided to minimize my wardrobe. I have less clothes than a lot of women, and I'm very rotational about them. So everything gets hung, and so I just make them into stitch markers because it ends up helping me more in my knitting, and I thought it would be interesting to send them on the tubes for the prizes. And to give you more of an example, if you're new to us, I will talk about life. If you're new to us, this is a sock tube, and I have attached a toe, and now I'm attaching a heel, and then I will make a cuff. But a sock tube from 100 grams is like really long. So you can get usually 2 pairs of socks out of it. But sometimes you might only get a 50-gram tube. I live in Tucson, so I love short socks because we have a lot of tile floors here. So I love short socks, and this is a sock tube that I put a toe on and then a contrasting cut in afterthought heel. And then the cuff is just folded in and seamed. It's called a hung hem, and I really, really like it. Now I wash these once or twice a week in the washer dryer, and they're really standing up. This is some Knit Picks heels, standing up really well. Sadly, my toes don't have any nylon or extra, they're just wool, and they were knit a long time ago when I wasn't so good, but they've stood up. And this I've found is like my perfect shorty size, the perfect spot for the ankle to hit and everything. So now I'm trying to make them all like this because I'm trying to expand my personal collection of socks. So I'm going to do a tube a month for myself and some extra gifts along the way this year. And this is Sweater 2019. I managed one chunky sweater so far. I've started a couple others that I'm just having a hard time keeping going. So what I did the other day is I had a chunk of a crochet bit.
Hey, you might want to shut this window, honey. I'm going to start belt sanding.
And I've decided, instead of just pulling it out, to use it as the top back of like a t-shirt style sweater, and just crochet one. So hopefully that will be the next one. I'm not sure. I'm having surgery the end of April. I'm not sure what I'll be doing in May, if I'll be able to crochet or knit, because it's on my chest. So we'll just see. We'll see. And I'm homeschooling and doing a little bit more with family right now, and I I don't know, I just don't feel like I have the knitting time. It's just shocking. But I think it's also the headspace, because I've got a lot of things going on. Some people have seen my podcast and commented that they don't understand it because, like, I'm not selling anything. I'm not selling my tubes. And I have no desire to, but, you know, if somebody wanted to. I do have a Ravelry group, and we like to, the people, the really core people that keep this podcast going, the friends I've created. I've swapped some tubes with people, so like they'll send me a skein of yarn, and I'll crank it in a tube, and then they'll send me a mini with it, and so like I'll get a mini out of the deal. Or we'll swap skeins and a mini, so like the mini is the payment, I guess you'd say. And some people don't like the tubes, and I don't like all of the tubes that I crank either. So all you've got to do if you get a prize is pull the yarn back out of the tube, just like a sock tube. And so there you go. This is just a podcast to share what I'm doing and to make connections, hopefully with people that I will eventually meet in real life, because I would like to, my goal is by 50 in 2 years to go to my first knitting retreat and to hopefully find a yearly knitting retreat. There's a couple of them where you fly into a place, you go to the place, and it's all just right at the place. So in other words, as a blind lady who doesn't drive, I don't have to like get from where I'm staying to the classroom place to also different restaurants. Like I don't have a lot of stuff to maneuver. It's just an all-encompassing kind of resort deal. But those are also the ones that I've managed to find. The two that I'm most interested in going to are on a, what do you call it? A draw. So you register that you want to go, and then they draw who gets to go. But like I said, I've got a couple years to fulfill this dream and get into this routine of going. I think when my kids are a little bit older, it'll work better. So that's my thing, is I hope to know people and have people know me in real life, and to be able to make those connections. Because going to a thing like that, for me, even in a room full of people, I can tend to feel alone, because there are times where I think somebody's talking to me and they're not, and I'll respond. Or I can't see what's going on with the person across the table from me. It's just bizarreness. So this way, hopefully I'll have some friends, and there'll be some comfortability, and it'll be a wonderful thing for that next stage in my life. I cannot believe I am that close to 50, and that different mindset of life when you get to that point. And I don't know how to explain it. I'm not sad to be older. I'm thrilled. But I also want to fill my life a little bit more with things that help other people and that feed me, because so much of our woman's life is spent in pursuit of things that help other people. And I don't mean to have a selfish post-50 life, but something that's a more balance between what I give and what I get. For years, I didn't keep anything I crocheted. And I was good with that. That was my point. My point was to make it all to give away. And now I do really want to knit, crochet some things that I can keep. I really didn't think I was sweater motivated, but I am totally sweater motivated. I want some sweaters. And that's a challenge because of where I live. There'll be more like 1 or 2 heavier weights and then like the fingering weight, t-shirty kind. Which en masse is slightly harder for me to work with because it's thinner. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I love talking to everybody else and getting the pattern suggestions and the pattern encouragements. I'm not in love with Ravelry. I find it difficult to maneuver at times, but when people can guide me to certain patterns to look up and then project pages to look for, that is really helpful. And I feel like this year, in this last 9 months of podcasting, that my social life has blossomed, that my friendships have blossomed, and I appreciate that so much. So nothing accomplished other than the FO that I did a small podcast of the other day. It's just a large granny square that I made for a friend, and hopefully we can, I think he's out of town, and hopefully we can give that to him next week. I am contemplating making a small shawl for someone, and I can't decide. I'm going to combine these two. I can't decide, is it going to be knit or is it going to be crocheted? Because I will get it done so much faster if I crochet it. Crocheting with fingering weight is really hard for me. Plus, for some reason, like, I can't seem to find a lot of my hooks and needles. What can't you believe?
40 out of 40.
You got 40 out of 40 in your
Yeah.
language arts quiz?
Uh-huh.
We're podcasting. Did you have to start reading your book yet?
Nope.
40 out of 40. Way to go. Okay. Cool.
It was fun and challenging.
And was it all just about, like, the definitions of those words?
Yeah. I got confused a bit, so I did use the printouts,
Mm-hmm.
but I remembered a lot of them.
Okay. And did you read through them all first?
Uh-huh.
Really?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
And there were 2 attempts, and I did it in 1.
Fabulous. Awesome. Awesome.
I'm going to stay here for 10 minutes.
We might even be done in 10 minutes. I don't know. Okay, so my husband's outside. You may or may not have heard him. Hey, will you go get me that?
Yeah.
He is a woodworker, and before it gets insanely hot, like it might be 90 today, which is, no, the wood thing.
Oh.
It's actually quite hot.
This
Here,
is
90.
a wooden bowl that Dad made yesterday.
Yes. And so this one is quite large.
Very long. Ooh, I love these. Yarn closet.
Why didn't you make something with them?
Oh,
I was gonna try to sew up a box before your sister's birthday.
Yarn closet. A while ago, I made a cross
Mm-hmm.
out of this. Out of something like this. By myself.
Exactly. Yes, those
It took me
plastic,
about 30 minutes.
the plastic grid things that you sew with yarn. Yeah.
Oh, hey, I have an idea for another pattern.
Okay. What?
Let's see. Yarn closet. I'm
Can I
gonna
have
be
that, please?
Yes. Let's see here. The tool.
You're not looking for a tool. There are no tools over there for this. What you would need is a needle
Okay.
or a
Where's the needle?
scissors. You're not getting a needle because you're not making it right this minute.
Okay.
There's over there a whole pack of them if you want to cut out a shape and if you want a needle and some yarn,
Okay.
you can do that. So anyway, he might make a few smaller cups. Now, Connor, hand me that small cup up there.
This.
Yes.
Here's another one that my dad made.
He might make some smaller cups that I can mail out in prizes.
I know one.
What?
I'll be right back.
because he really enjoys it, but this is like a short window of weather in which he can do this, because it's going to be insanely hot this year. I'm just pretty sure.
Ta-da!
Oh yeah, you can show me.
Yarn closet. This is one of Dad's first woodworks.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a wood pen that Dad made for me. Doesn't work anymore, but I still like it.
We can change out the ink in it so it does work.
Yay!
Yeah. Okay, why don't you go put that back?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this was made at our old house.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 5 years old.
Just about, yeah.
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 5 years. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're getting so old.
Yeah, I'm 11.
You are 11. And so preteen, it's ridiculous. So, look with your heart first, not your eyes. See you next week.